controversy, opinion, point of view. This is Prime News.
Welcome to Prime News. Tonight on the program, we've got some new details emerging in the search for baby Lisa. New details about exactly what happened that night, what the father did, and it's a little bit different than what we've been hearing. I'm going to get to that in a moment, but first we begin in Texas, and I've got some video I'm going to show you in just a few minutes that some people find very disturbing, okay? It's video that's about 7 years old. It's of a father and his 16-year-old daughter. The father is punishing the daughter, and you see the punishment because it's all caught on video. Apparently, the daughter was recording it. Well, she held on to it for years, and now, as an adult, has released this video. Now, why am I showing you this? What's the significance of all this, okay? Well, it's a beating, okay? First of all, you got to take a look at the beating, and you're going to have a reaction to that. But who is the man in this video? Yes, he's a father, but he's also a judge in Texas, a family law judge, someone that's got to deal with issues like child abuse, domestic violence. Should someone who does or did what this man did that I'm going to show you in this video be on the bench? Is it appropriate? Would you, as a victim of domestic violence, or you as the victim of child abuse, want to appear in front of this man and have him decide what's right and what's wrong? That's why this is important. Obviously, it's important to this woman now and the relationship with her father. But the bigger story is all the lives that are touched by this judge in a courtroom, dealing with families, dealing with very delicate issues that can really change people's lives. That's why I'm showing you this video. Now, again, some of you may find this video disturbing. It was posted on YouTube by the man's daughter, the victim. Again, it's 7 years old. She's now in her 20s. At the time, she was 16, and apparently she was playing some computer games on the family computer that she was not supposed to be playing with. As a result, dad/judge did this. It's my...
Bend over that bed.
Dad.
Bend over that bed. Bend over the bed. Bend over the bed.
Stop!
Bend over the bed. I'm gonna keep beating you on your legs. Lay down. I'll spank you in your face. Roll over. You get on. She told you to take that thing off the computer.
Turn over. I'm gonna spank on your butt. You turn over like a 16-year-old and take it like a grown woman.
I never got my lick in on her. Get on your stomach on the bed now. Get on the stomach or I'm gonna start beating you again.
Get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach, I said.
All right, that's the video, and as disturbing as you may find it, it's significant, it's important. It's 7 years old, but this man is a judge. This man is a family court judge. Should he be making those decisions about what should happen inside your household, inside the household of all these people, when you have to deal with these issues in family court? I mean, this is something that I think, you know, whether or not you believe in this type of punishment with your children, whether it's appropriate to do to your own child, do you want that man making decisions about your family? Joining me tonight in Miami, the Honorable Alex Ferrer, host of the syndicated Judge Alex Show. In New York, family law attorney Vikki Ziegler. And in Los Angeles, national spokesperson for the Domestic Violence Hotline and author Tanya Young, also a victim of domestic violence. Thank you all for being here. Really do appreciate it. Let me start with the judge. Judge, you just saw this video. You know, there's 7 minutes worth of this thing. We're not going to show you all of it. I think you get the flavor of it there. But, Judge, your thoughts about this man, not as a father, but this man as a judge making those critical decisions in courtrooms, dealing with people's lives in his hands as a judge. Your thoughts?
Well, Vinny, you know I call him as I see him. I don't care if you're a judge or if you're a police officer or a plumber. It makes no difference to me. I wouldn't want him on the bench. I would want that guy off the bench. I watched the entire 7-minute video because you can get it on YouTube, and I watched the whole thing from beginning to end, and it just got me angrier and angrier watching it. Not because of the discipline or whatever, because, you know, there are a lot of people out there who go like, hey, you know what, spare the rod, spoil the child. I get that. I understand that. I was raised with a lot of discipline in my house, believe me. It was the manner and the tenor of the discipline. He is taking pleasure in it. He even says at one point, I didn't get my licks in after the mother hits her with a belt. He gets the belt and keeps whipping her for those 7 minutes. I wouldn't want him on the bench. If the governor in Texas has the ability to remove a judge, I would hope he would suspend them. But at the very least, you know, the Judicial Review Commission is going to look at it. And, you know, frankly, I heard that he apologized. He said it was years ago and he's apologized. Nobody who behaves that way with their own daughter does it on an isolated incident. That is the way he must have been over and over again. For her to set up a video camera to capture it, you know she knew what was coming. So the bottom line is, if he's like that with his child, what's he going to be like with the people who appear in front of him who mean nothing to him? So with all due respect to his mental health and I hope he improves and gets the treatment he needs, I want him off the bench.
All right, I want to read a statement from the judge. Judge William Davis released this statement to our affiliate KRIS-TV. He says, it happened years ago. I apologized. It's not as bad as it looks on tape. Did you hear that? Not as bad as it looks on tape. So what you see is not necessarily what you get, apparently. Vikki Ziegler, you're a family law attorney, and what people at home may not understand is I believe, in most states, almost all cases in family law, the judge is making all these decisions. We don't bring juries in to make decisions. It's not like the judge is just sitting there presiding. The judge is making the call. The judge is making all the decisions, the findings of fact, what's abuse, what's not abuse, who should have custody, who shouldn't have custody, who's in harm's way, who's a threat, who's not a threat. It's all in the judge's hands, Vikki.
I am horrified that this judge has been sitting on the bench for all of these years. And let's talk about his excuse. It didn't look that bad on the video.
No, wait,
no.
Let's get it correct here. It's not as bad as it looks on tape.
Yeah. How much worse can it be? Did you want to kill the girl? I mean, I can't even stomach to look at it. I've watched it over and over again. There's no excuse for a parent to behave that way, and especially in Texas, people go to jail for that kind of behavior. Moreover, you're right, this is a family law judge. I mean, I could not imagine knowing what this gentleman did if I was to appear before him tomorrow with one of my clients who allegedly abused a child, what he would do. Not a problem, walk out. That's not what the judicial system is about. This is a judge who sits on the bench. He's judging character. He's taking the law, interpreting it and applying it properly and fairly. That's what he should be doing. He has a bias. He is a predator himself. I can't stress to you, Vinny, enough, and to your viewers that this gentleman should resign. I think immediately. There will be a judicial committee. They will, I would hope, investigate this matter, and he will absolutely, I think, either have to get off the bench or be recused for judicial misconduct. It is outrageous and reprehensible.
Tanya Young, put us in the perspective of a victim, right? I mean, victims are going to appear in front of this judge. People are going to say, you know what, I am the victim of domestic violence, and this is the man who's going to determine whether or not you're a victim or not.
Good afternoon, Vinny. Let me begin by saying that was not discipline. It was abuse. Without question, it's abuse. And the problem I have with it is that if he does not have the ability in his own home to curtail his actions when it comes to power and control, domestic violence is about power and control. He abuses that power in his own home. Without question, he's going to abuse that power on the bench. He should not be there. But let us not forget that Miss Adams, Hillary Adams, said the only reason she released this is because her father continues to call her and harass her. So although he is not physically abusing her anymore, he's emotionally and psychologically and verbally still abusing her. Therefore, he hasn't learned. It doesn't matter that he apologized. He has not improved. And unless he gets serious help, he's not going to change his actions. He's not going to change his spots. He was an abuser 7 years ago. He's an abuser today. He should not be on the bench. If I was in front of him, I would have no hopes that he would give me a fair opportunity because he thinks abuse is okay.
Up next, we'll show you what happens when this girl's mother steps in. I also want to remind you about a big moment coming to all of us here at HLN. There's a clock in the... Welcome back to Prime News. We're taking a look at some disturbing video that's making the rounds now on the internet. It was released by a daughter. It's 7 years old. She was 16 years old, being disciplined / punished / abused by her father and mother with a belt in the room. She recorded it. She released it 7 years later. She's now in her 20s. Here's the catch to the whole thing. The man who's doing this beating is a judge in family court, a man who makes decisions and makes decisions that critically impacts families in Texas. Decisions about domestic violence and custody. Who's right, who's wrong, what's abuse, what's not abuse, what's okay, what's not okay. And apparently this man thinks what he did was okay. He says it happened years ago. I apologize. It's not as bad as it looks on tape. Well, we'll let you make up your mind if you think it's as bad as it looks on tape. What I want to play for you right now is the daughter. Before I play you the tape, this is the daughter. She's now in her 20s. She was 16 at the time. This is a statement that was posted with the video on why she released it, as read by one of my producers. Take a listen.
Aransas County Court-at-Law Judge William Adams took a belt to his own teenage daughter as punishment for using the internet to acquire music and games that were unavailable for legal purchase at the time. She has had ataxic cerebral palsy from birth that led her to a passion for technology, which was strictly forbidden by her father's backwards views. The judge's wife was emotionally abused herself and was severely manipulated into assisting the beating and should not be blamed for any content in this video. The judge's wife has since left the marriage due to the abuse, which continues to this day, and has sincerely apologized and repented for her part and for allowing such a thing long before this video was even revealed to exist. Judge William Adams is not fit to be anywhere near the law system if he can't even exercise fit judgment as a parent himself. Do not allow this man to ever be reelected again. His judgment is a giant farce. Signed, Hillary Adams, his daughter.
I'm now going to show you that other part of the video. We showed the first part already. Again, most people who watch this find it very disturbing. This is the part of the video where mom now steps in. Take a look.
You turn over. One time, you get over on your stomach and you let me spank you on the butt.
Do some more.
No. You turn over like a 16-year-old and take it like a grown woman.
You know, being a judge is about judgment, and what I'm questioning here tonight is this man's judgment. It's being questioned by his own daughter. Now, obviously, there's things going on in their relationship that we don't know about, but we can see what happened 7 years ago on this tape, and this man is a family law judge. Let's bring in a different kind of judge, Judge Alex, host of the syndicated Judge Alex show. Being a judge is about judgment, right?
Judge, Vinny.
Very
different kind of judge.
Well, it's about judgment, though. I mean, that's what judges do. They have to make a call, and you bring to the courtroom your own sense of what's right and what's wrong. And to me, this is scary.
It's very scary, and people elect you based on what they perceive your character to be. I guarantee you the good people of Texas did not know that he was the kind of guy who would take pleasure out of whipping the daylights with a belt of his 16-year-old daughter, who apparently also has had incidents of cerebral palsy in her life. So she's disabled on top of everything else, and he is threatening to whip her across the face with the belt if she doesn't turn over like he's ordering her to. And he's whipped her legs, I don't know how many times in those 7 minutes, and still hasn't, as he says, gotten his licks in. So unfortunately, since it's 7 years old, I'm sure the statute of limitations has run. He probably can't be criminally prosecuted for that. But the Judicial Commission or Judicial Review Board over there should remove him for conduct on becoming a judge.
Vikki Ziegler, and at the heart of all this, obviously, is his decisions, his choices, his judgment, his figuring out what's right and what's wrong. And it seems if you have a judge doing, thinking that this is okay and it's just not as bad as it looks on tape, my goodness, where does that leave a victim inside his courtroom?
Yeah, I mean, where is the character? Where is the perception? How do you go before a gentleman like this knowing that he's going to take to heart the specific issues, the sensitive issues that we deal with in the family courts on a daily basis? This man is a coward. He's not a judge. A judge is the one that the public has to trust. They look towards to make decisions. We don't have juries. We only have judges in family court. They are the sole decision makers in our cases. How could you have any faith in a man like this? And quite frankly, in my opinion, he's a monster and should not be sitting on the bench at all for another day. It's devastating.
And Vinny?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to say, you know, I feel bad for his daughter because victims of abuse, they always take it on themselves and they think that they're the reason, that it's their fault. And I read that at some point his daughter posted a statement, I don't know if it's true or not, saying, you know, I don't want to get my father in trouble, I just want him to get help. And I just want to say to his daughter, I think her name is Hillary, I'm sorry for all of on behalf of all the fathers out there, because it hurt me as a father to see the way he was treating his own daughter, and I would hate for her to think that that is an appropriate way for a father to treat his daughter. I don't care what she did.
It is not. We're going to talk more about this. You know, this dad wasn't done yet. What happens when he comes back into his daughter's room? We'll show you that next. Plus, we dive into the baby Lisa case. Welcome back to Prime News. Tonight, I'm showing you some disturbing video that's making the rounds on the internet. It's a father disciplining / abusing his 16-year-old daughter. 7-year-old tape, 7 minutes worth on YouTube. We're going to show you another short piece of it. The man doing the beating of the little girl is a family court judge. Take a look.
Get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach. That's right.
Beat you into submission. You want to put some more computer games on? You want some more?
And tonight, reaction from the dad / judge. He spoke to KRIS TV. Here's what he said.
In my mind, I haven't done anything wrong other than discipline my child after she was caught stealing, and I did lose my temper, but I've since apologized. It looks worse than it is. There is a story. It'll come out in due time, okay?
So you do acknowledge, though, that that's you in the video?
Yeah, absolutely. It's me.
All right, Tanya Young, national spokesperson for the Domestic Violence Hotline. Tanya, your reaction to his reaction.
He is in denial. He's in absolute denial of who he is, the monster he is, and the damage he is causing his family and the life of his wife. What your viewers need to understand and what this video has depicted is that domestic does not discriminate. It affects all races, all genders, all socioeconomic backgrounds, academic backgrounds. It is rampant, and it destroys families. What also victims like Hillary need to understand, being a victim only means that you are the innocent party. It is not synonymous with being weak. Being a victim means you are innocent. It is the abuser who is the monster, and this judge needs to be off the bench because not only has he destroyed his daughter's life, he has destroyed the lives of many people who have come before him and sought justice.
Vikki Ziegler, is there any story, rest of the story that you would hear that would change your mind about what you saw?
No, not at all. And the funniest thing actually is to me that this is a judge who knows the law, who knows the definition of what discipline is, the distinction between corporal punishment, discipline, and a beating, right? He probably, if we went through the records, may have either referred somebody to the prosecutor's office for some criminal behavior regarding abuse, just as he has done to his daughter. And guess what? As I mentioned earlier, in Texas, they don't play games. They throw people in jail for big spankings. This was not a spanking. This was not discipline. This was a beatdown. So I think he's going nowhere. There's no way you can change and reassess what we are all visualizing, what we are seeing on that video. It's horrendous, ugly. You can bear to watch it. The girl can't defend herself. I really think he's got big trouble on his hands. So we'll be seeing what his lawyers have in store.
And it is being investigated by police there. They are aware of it. The judge in charge of that district is aware of it. It's been referred to the police for the investigation, and we'll stay on top of this story. Tanya Young, great to see you. Thank you so much, Vikki Ziegler. Judge Alex, stick around. I got some more work for you in the next hour. Baby Lisa.